Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Stuart A. Swerdlow.
And Janet Diane Moya Swerdlow.
And this is the Expansions News Podcast for the very middle of March 2020.
So did you have fun out there time traveling? Everybody was asking.
I don't have fun.
You don't?
I do things to help the world, which is not fun.
It's not.
Because the world is stupid and ignorant and they don't understand anything. Mm-hmm. So it's frustrating.
But frustrating and fun both start with F.
So does something else. But we won't go there. Anyway, I am back from San Juan, Panama, Quito, and Miami, not to mention Chicago.
You may not know where San Juan is.
Of course they know where
Oh,
San
yeah.
Juan
There's a San
is.
Juan's up in the Washington State.
Nobody even knows it exists.
I do, and maybe they
know
do
about
too.
Viejo San Juan in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
By the way, I am officially now a citizen of Puerto Rico, and we now have established a non-profit corporation there, as well as bank accounts and blah, blah, blah. And we'll talk about that more as time goes on. And by the way, during all my travels to 5 airports in 2 continents, you can count on one hand how many people were wearing masks.
That many? That's what you showed me.
Maybe like this many. Mm-hmm. But no matter, because we know that masks actually enhance a virus and do not protect you from it. So unless you're going to wear a hazmat suit, don't waste your money or your efforts on wearing a mask or gloves and those kinds of
I
things.
thought maybe they might have made you shave your beard. Because they said that increased your risks.
That's not what they made me shave. So we won't go there either.
Did you get photos?
Yes. I've been texting it all over. Did you not get one?
No.
No, maybe it's to my other
You
friends.
better not be.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, the conditions, and I cannot read my own handwriting. Oh, the conditions in other countries are very
I could have
different.
interpreted it for you.
Nobody is in panic like the news media will have you believe. And the so-called, now they're calling it, instead of the other thing that's just COVID-19, COVID-19 viral disease, now they're calling it a viral disease. It's officially pandemic by the World Health Organization. Who? Why, the World Health Organization, which was announced last week. And they said, quote, this is the first pandemic caused by coronavirus. And this was by the WHO director. Want to hear his name? WHO Director General? His name is Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. And he's in Geneva. It's the first time the WHO has called it outbreak pandemic since the H1N1 swine flu in 2009. Did you know anybody that ever had the swine flu? No. Do you know anyone that has the corona? No. Right, exactly.
But I know people who stocked up on toilet paper.
That's my question. How the F is toilet paper going to help you with this virus?
I don't know that.
I don't understand that. What is it? You eat it? You stuff it up your butt? How does that stop the virus? Maybe does it give you diarrhea? Well, that is sometimes a symptom of this. However, it's a minor symptom,
Usually
and most people don't have
No,
that.
because it's a respiratory disease, so most people do not
Yeah,
have
nobody
that.
they're just going to swab their lungs with the toilet paper. Ridiculous. Hysteria. Panic. Stop it. For gosh sake. And it says, even as the health emergency is raised to its highest level, the hope remains that COVID-19 can be curtailed. Yeah, especially since it doesn't really exist. And they urge countries to take actions now to stop the disease, which doesn't exist. The WHO is deeply concerned, I'm sure they are, both by the alarming levels of spread, I could say something but I won't, and the severity of the alarming inaction by world leaders. We have therefore made the assessment, said the WHO, that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic. No, it's an insanity. And they said they are placing it in a different category than the several deadly outbreaks, including recent Ebola, Zika virus, and all the other ones that appeared in all the presidential election years, which were absolutely Nothing.
Well, I think it must be like a miracle. They come once every 4 years.
Yeah, now listen, the H1N1 influenza virus killed more than 18,000 people in more than 214 countries and territories. Well, that's just normal stuff. More people die from other things in those countries, especially, terrorism and poverty and hunger. Kill more people than that.
That's right. 25,000 people a day globally die from hunger. Did you know that?
And did you know 200,000? Well, I'm not hungry, so I don't know.
25,000 per day.
Are you aggressing? You're aggressing
Yes.
me. You're aggressing me.
25,000 per day die.
Greta, she's aggressing me. I don't like that, Mrs. Janet. Don't let me get Greta on you, because then you will regret it. Anyway, and here's the first honest thing. They said for most people, COVID-19 infection will cause mild illness, but it can make some people very ill and fatal. Yeah, so can heart attacks, stroke, HIV, and a million other things.
Regular
that
flu.
are hepatitis
Regular
that are much
flu.
worse than this.
Regular flu.
And it says, and those with pre-existing medical conditions such as cardiovascular disease, chronic respiratory disease, and diabetes are risk for severe disease. They are anyway. The most common symptoms, for example, fever, 88% of the cases. Dry cough, 68% of the cases. And then it drops off. Fatigue, 38. I have that every freaking day of my life. Sputum,
Sputum.
sputum. Phlegm, only 33%. Shortness of breath is only 20% or less, and sore throat or headache is only 13%. Most people have that regardless of this.
And not only that, but when the seasons change, that's when a lot of people come down with this, and a lot of it is even allergy.
Well, unfortunately, we live in Michigan, and unfortunately, we only have 2 seasons, winter and winter light.
You know what? I say fortunately we live in Michigan.
Yeah, because as you know, just a few minutes ago we got a snow alert, and it's already middle of March. Spring is, but that's not unusual. We have snow till almost May.
And I love Michigan.
You do?
I do.
Why don't you marry it?
I might.
Good. Maybe it can support you.
Maybe.
Here's a clue, people. All kidding aside, many countries in the tropical zone have zero cases of this coronavirus, virus, and also countries that are poor have 0 cases. Mostly in 5G countries is where the coronavirus is available. That tells you and I that this so-called virus is activated by 5G transmission.
Or those people, the ones they're trying to get. They want your mind.
That's right.
Remember what I told you last week, 13 cube, they want your mind. Don't give it away, because they're getting it through the panic and the toilet paper.
Excuse me, I'm
Speaking. And the toilet paper.
I'm going to take toilet paper and make sure that you're maybe wrapped up
You
in
better
it.
be careful, because they're going to say things.
They do anyway. The deep state created this so-called virus to bring down the global economy and President Trump, and now it will be used against them. Remember what Q said in all the posts. These people are sick. And guess what? They are sick. Tom Hanks and his wife are sick, and they are pedophiles. Trudeau's wife is sick, but she's drugged out of her mind, and maybe he'll get it too. These people are literally sick now physically.
But you also have to remember what I tell you, that if you have blocks, you may turn them into stepping stones. And so this is what's happening here. Even though the deep state might have started something, the good guys are using it to make
them.
it, that's right, to make it work for them.
And you will see now with all of the closing of schools, businesses, libraries, restaurants, all these things, that clears the way for arrests.
And they're doing that already.
And they're doing that. Sean Hannity used his talk radio program to share a prediction that he found on Twitter about what is really happening with the coronavirus. He said it's a fraud, yes, by the deep state to spread panic in the populace, manipulate the economy, and suppress dissent. Absolutely correct, 100%. Rush Limbaugh said this coronavirus, it's all a panic, it's just not warranted. And Fox Business anchor Trish Regan told viewers that the worry over coronavirus is, quote, is yet another attempt to impeach the president, unquote. Most people with a few brain cells will see this as another deep state attempt right after the failed impeachment, which came right after the failed Russian hoax, etc., etc. Every time they try something and it fails, they try something else. And that's what we're seeing happening right now. Now, let's talk about someone who's mentally incapacitated. And don't look at me like that.
I thought we were talking about you. Oh, sorry. I
I'm
didn't
a
mean
reflection of you. Remember that. Former Vice President Joe Biden, hello. He was visiting an auto plant here in Michigan when several of the workers wanted to talk about his position on some issues. You are actively trying to diminish our Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, one unionist charged. You're full of shh, said Biden. That's a very presidential thing to say.
that. Especially to a worker.
Yeah. As another attempted to speak up, Biden ordered him twice to shush. I support the Second Amendment, the candidate countered, as Biden said he was going to take your AR-140 AR-14s away. He pointed his finger at the man's face. This is not okay. And don't tell me anything, pal, Biden said. The worker continued to defend the Second Amendment and disputed Biden's interpretation of assault rifles. And you know what Biden said to him? Don't be such a horse's ass. And he walked away. Yeah, that's who I'd want for president, wouldn't you?
That's terrible that he treated that man that way.
Yeah, he needs to go into the home and get medicated. Biden has a short fuse, he's unstable, corrupt, and his day of reckoning is soon.
Did you see that clip they showed where he was talking on camera, and while he was talking, he like went out of the camera?
Yeah, he just like walked and drifted away. La, 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 la. He also said, I'm here to represent, I'm running for the Senate.
Yeah.
Instead of like, this is who you want for president? Seriously?
Well, seriously, they put somebody,
Come on.
They put somebody forward
And
that.
bad enough that people voted,
Yeah.
voted for that communist socialist, what's his name, Sanders, whose real name is Gutman. Please, what the heck is wrong with the United States and the world? And speaking of people who were not right in the head, Prince Harry was duped into discussing a fictional island, smoking cannabis, and transporting penguins to the North Pole by Russian prince. These are my people. I mean, okay, that was funny. The hoax callers Vladimir Kuznetsov and Alexei Stolyarov said they would release further extracts from their astonishing conversation with the Duke of Sussex. Posing as Greta, I can't even say, it's hysterical. They posed as Greta and her father.
How did they do that?
And
They're
her
two-
father Svante.
But they're two men.
Hi, this is Greta. I love you very much.
That's how only he can't see it. Anyway, they fooled Harry into thinking that mining companies close to President Trump were exploiting Chunga Chunga, the name of a Russian children's song about a fictional island in the tropics. Oh my goodness. In the conversation, the Russian hoaxers told Prince Harry they wanted to ship 50 penguins stuck in landlocked Belarus to the North Pole. And Harry, who is due to quit from public life after March 31st, I mean, he's already quit from life, appears to fail to notice that penguins are native to the South Pole and Belarus has no coastline. This is a prince, okay? I should be emperor, not prince.
Maybe you could be Emperor Penguin.
Prince, here's
They
what it's.
have Emperor Penguins.
Well, I'm not a penguin, but I am an emperor, okay?
You'd be emperor of the
And you wanna
penguins.
No,
I
kiss
do
my ring. Come
not.
on, kiss
And
my
no,
ring.
I will not. Let Greta kiss it. She's right there.
Okay. I love you, Emperor.
See, stop it. Greta is so annoying. Anyway, Prince Harry is believed to have been tricked with these Russian hoaxers twice already on New Year's Eve and January 22nd. Seriously, there's no words for him. The Duke also made a number of stunning claims, including he and his former American actress wife, Meghan Markle, are completely separate from the majority of the royal family. They made the decision to step back from public life to protect Archie, who's not in public anymore and who's whiter than you or me and is not his mother. The world is being run by sick leaders, and President Trump, who could be outsmarted, has blood on his hands for pushing his coal policy. Outsmarted? Well, Harry, this is the third time you've been outsmarted.
That's it.
He also said Boris Johnson is a good man who's set in his ways. Well, he's friends with Trump. Greta and her followers have to take extreme measures to exact change. And the UK political system, this is the only true thing. The UK political system is broken. Yeah, that's the truth. Harry is a man-child, really low-level mentality, and easily led around by his handler, Meghan Markle, who is a man.
Well, it could be, like I said, we don't know how much of it's a show.
Listen,
Period.
there's no way he'd want to make himself look like such an a-hole.
No, they don't care because they have so much money, they don't care about
He
any
has
of
the
it.
brains of a flea.
They don't care. All they care about is
I'm sure
doing
his mother would be very ashamed of him
maybe that this is part of the global plan to split the royal family.
and make him look like an idiot.
He doesn't care. And then bring them back, and through Archie,
No,
and
they're
then
not
it's
coming
one
back.
global government. That's
Go
not going
on.
to happen
Just
right
do
away.
your story.
It's not going to happen right
It's your
away.
last chance to kiss my ring.
But when Archie grows up, they go, oh, now we can have, because he'll be a citizen of the U.S. and maybe by then Canada.
He will not be a
and
citizen of the
UK.
U.S. No, Canada wants to throw them out.
Yeah, but isn't he automatically since she's a citizen?
No, you
No?
have to apply.
Well, they'll do that. Maybe they've already done that. We just don't know.
Nah.
And did you know, he didn't mention it, that Trump, since his administration has been in effect, has taken down a notorious Mexican cartel with 600 arrests, which he's calling just the beginning.
Good.
Apparently, the DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, the Department of Justice, announced the results just last week of an interagency operation cracking down on Mexican cartel activity. They netted 600 arrests nationwide, 350 indictments, and significant seizures of money and drugs. And they called it Project Python. And the Assistant Attorney General said that Project Python marks the most comprehensive action to date in the Department of Justice's campaign to disrupt, dismantle, and ultimately destroy CJNG, the initials of the cartel.
This is what I heard. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, well, so Trump is draining the swamp. So among
Yeah.
all of these things, all the people who are taking him down, and this is why you shouldn't pay attention either and stand firm in your own beliefs, because people are calling him all kinds of things, and he's setting the example. He's not feeding the fear, he's not feeding the panic, and people are saying, oh my God, or the press, I should say, is saying, what's wrong with him? He's not taking control. Well, he is, but there's lots of things going on, and so if they're pointing the finger one direction, you have to look somewhere else. Louisiana, did you know, became the first state to postpone an election due to the coronavirus outbreak.
Well, they probably don't even know how to write their names.
They might not. And then Wyoming Democrats suspended their in-person caucuses. And then all across the country now, this is happening here in the U.S. As we're getting closer and closer to some very important elections.
Right.
So in my opinion, I'm wondering if they might play around a little bit and eventually even declare martial law.
Well,
What do you think?
I hope not.
I hope not either, but they might, because they might have to hold people in place, which is what I said right from the beginning. And the Surgeon General said that coronavirus is less deadly than normal flu for children and young adults.
There were hardly any children that have it.
Yeah, so they said, so there's something about being young that's protective, so apparently young children aren't being targeted.
It's because they don't use cell phones with 5G.
Well, do we?
Yes, we have. But Michigan doesn't have. That's why we don't have it here.
Yeah.
But most of these other places have 5. That's why the adult people have it.
Yeah.
Children don't have it. They don't have phones.
And according to this report that I have in front of me, at least 60,000 people have recovered from coronavirus.
The death rate is less than 1%.
Right. But in the meantime, it says the world's financial markets have crashed, And the global oil prices sustained their worst percentage losses since the Gulf War in 1991.
Now, I have been speaking to people in the oil industry, and within 45 days, the oil prices will be back up.
Yeah,
where
but what's
they were.
interesting to me, remember, Saudi Arabia and a lot of those Middle Eastern countries were trying to tank the prices anyway.
Right.
This came in, and this is like nanny on you
Listen to me.
because
This is a
it's being
war,
tanked.
an oil war between Russia and Saudi Arabia.
There's a lot of wars going on here that are being fought under the guise of this virus. That's my opinion.
The virus is, well, I'll
But
get
it's
to
too
that.
bad we didn't have stock in toilet paper. That's all I can say.
Well,
Now,
you barely have
apparently,
toilet paper.
do we? You've been
Well, I've
going.
been using my hands
Oh,
up
that works.
recently.
Okay, or a hose. We have hoses we can hook up.
Yeah.
So the experts are urging the public to take the disease seriously but not overreact. They're claiming that the media is coming under fire for stoking a panic mentality
Yeah.
that experts decry as both counterproductive and unsupported by the facts. So however, they mention in every article that the stores are being wiped clean of toilet paper, paper towels, sanitizing wipes.
Stores are wiped clean of
Wiped
toilet
clean.
paper.
That's right. And the message from public health and infectious disease experts say that it's important to take it seriously, but not to overreact.
Yeah. So they're telling you to react, but not to react. To be afraid, but not be afraid.
Yeah. And Putin in Russia said that Russia is being targeted from abroad by fake news about the coronavirus.
Absolutely.
Russia's communications regulator said it had shut down access to some social media posts containing falsehoods about the virus outbreak. The Federal Security Service reports that the fakes are mainly being organized from abroad. Putin said the purpose of such fakes is clear to sow panic among the population, so they're shutting it down.
Good for him.
A Russian cybersecurity company identified what it said were thousands of fake news posts on messaging services and social networks, such as Russia's VK alleging,
Oh my God. Oh, you just gave
I
me
coughed.
this disease.
that thousands of Muscovites have caught the virus. So that's fake news. Russia has not reported any confirmed cases of people contracting coronavirus on its territory, although 6 people picked up the virus elsewhere and are receiving treatment in Russia. And then there's this letter, which I have seen so many times, and maybe some people have too, but it's a letter from an infectious disease doctor in Toronto, which was actually posted on Facebook.
Yeah, but that means he's a Canadian.
Yes, he's a Canadian, but he must be a good one, because he's telling people that this is crazy. And he says he's worked with 6 patients on a daily basis for over 20 years, inner city hospitals, poor slums of Africa. He's worked with HIV, AIDS, hepatitis, TB, SARS, measles, shingles, whooping cough, and diphtheria. And he said there's not much that he hasn't been exposed to, and very little has left him feeling vulnerable, overwhelmed, and downright scared, which is the way most people are supposed to
Exactly.
feel right now. As an infectious doctor, disease doctor, says, I'm not scared of COVID-19. I am concerned about the implications of a novel infectious agent that has spread the world over and continues to find new footholds on different soil. I am rightly concerned for the welfare of those who are elderly, in frail health, or disenfranchised, because they can't fight in the stores for their toilet paper.
I want to make a point because
Yeah.
you know, COVID,
Right.
CV.
Right.
C is 3, V 22. So 322 is the symbol for skull and crossbones.
Ah, yeah, I think I heard that somewhere. Very good. Anyway, and 19 is the Mother of Darkness program.
Exactly.
So anyway, then he goes on to say, this doctor, that I'm scared about the loss of reason and wave of fear that has induced the masses of society into a spellbinding spiral of panic, stockpiling obscene quantities of anything that could fill a bomb shelter adequately in a post-apocalyptic world. I'm scared of the N95 masks that are stolen from hospitals and urgent care clinics, and people are wearing them out to have
And
their coffee.
masks will do absolutely
That's right. And to
nothing.
me, we've said this from the beginning that
In fact, they will concentrate the virus in
Right.
your face and you will get sick wearing it.
Right, so the hospitals are filled with these people, say maybe they should get tested, which is maybe why they're starting these drive-up clinics. And so the people with real health emergencies are not being treated in the ER rooms. And he does say that he fears that they will ultimately culminate in a global recession, which is what they're trying
it's
to
happening.
do. And he's scared about the messages the kids are receiving, although I've seen a bunch of them out partying on spring break, so I don't think they're too upset about it.
They're in sea salt water. Nothing's going to happen to them.
True. Well,
And they're in a hot climate, so there's no virus.
and not only that, but they're not paying attention, so there's no fear. So he says temper fear with reason, panic with patience, uncertainty with education. And his name is Dr. Abdu Sharkaway.
That's a strange name.
That's what it is. Well, anyway, that's what he says, and I have to agree. And then, did you hear about Bill Gates leaving the Microsoft board?
Yes, and good riddance.
So it happened, he announced on Friday, it was effective Friday, so it kind of sounds like...
He's got to pay the bill.
Yeah, very interesting. So anyway, his claim is that he's dedicating more time to philanthropic priorities.
Yeah, because he cares about people.
Including global health and development, education,
Right.
and by increasing engagement in tackling climate change.
Yeah, I'll translate. I'm going to be indicted about something that's going to make me look really bad, so I need to go do something with mind control and programming.
So what's interesting to me is somebody dug up this article about Bill Gates from 2003, and now you may have heard this. If I've heard it, I didn't know. But did you know that his father was the head of Planned Parenthood?
I heard about that, yes.
Yeah,
That's also murder of children.
yeah. So apparently there was an interview with him back in May of 2003. You can get the full transcript if you go to the link to this article if you're interested. But anyway, it was an interview with Bill Moyers, and he said that his inspiration for funding of pro-abortion population control measures came from his parents who were involved. Well, his dad, he says, my dad was head of Planned Parenthood. He claims that he has seen beyond Malthusian conceptions of useless eaters, since he says he has seen that by improving health and education, population decreases as parents decide to have less children. So in other words, he has a fear of overpopulation, and he states that
How
in
many
this
children
article.
does he have?
I think he has 3.
Well,
I think so.
maybe they should cut his parts off now.
I don't know. Well, 64, not that it makes any difference. But I'm just saying I don't know if they're going to have any children. I don't know the age of his wife. But Malthus was a man who said that uncontrolled population growth would intentionally avoid contributing to it. So anyway, this Malthus believed in anything that would shorten the human lifespan. So I thought that was all very interesting that is who Gates thinks is one of his mentors. Not as a friend. I mean, I knew who he was. Let's put it that way. And what was interesting
You went
is...
to meetings with him.
What was interesting was his stepmother. His stepmother was a gardener.
Yes, I know.
You knew that.
And you knew them too.
Yes, as I said, it's very interesting to me.
Maybe I'm suspicious of you.
Maybe. So anyway, so I have a lot, just, same information I gave you last week, but I did want to talk just a little bit more about the methylene blue.
Yes, I've been taking it. Have you?
That's why you're blue. So anyway, the methylene blue...
No, I'm blue because you've been choking me.
Well, no, you did that to yourself. Anyway, it's... According to the information I have, it's emergency rooms use it to remove carbon monoxide from the blood, and it is recommended by WHO to remove HIV from whole blood. And of course, the effects depends on the dose, but according to this article, methylene blue kills all kinds of microbes, fungi,
Right.
and even methicillin-resistant MRSA in superficial and deep excision wounds. And there's compelling evidence linking methylene blue.
I take methylene blue plus.
Yeah, this is the plus one. We have both.
It's 4 times as strong as the regular one.
Yeah. It links methylene blue with adequate consumption of 30 known vitamins and minerals with longevity. It delays cellular senescence and enhances key mitochondrial biochemical pathways. So if you're new to this, and we've sold quite a bit of it, but if you're new to it, this is a 2.03 fluid ounce bottle, 60 milliliters.
So you can take it on the plane.
Yeah, and you can only take a drop to start with.
Well,
okay?
I take 8.
This 1 drop of the methylene blue plus equals 4 drops of the regular.
You take it until your urine turns a greenish color, and then you stop it for a while, and you can start up again.
Yeah, then you pull back. And according to this article, it can help Alzheimer's, senile dementia, Parkinson's, and Huntington's chorea.
And that's why I am so sharp.
Now, also a product that's made by the same company, which we're waiting for, is called Blue Block.
Yes.
So that's on its way here. So watch our website.
That's
for
a
that.
spray.
It's a spray, and you put it on your skin, and so any corona contact will likely be neutralized by methylene blue, silver ions combined. And what's interesting is methylene blue was first used in 1891 to treat malaria. So there's a lot of interesting things.
It kills all pathogens.
Yeah, Blue Block is a skin tonic with methylene blue and colloidal ions that not only block 5G radiation waves, but also inactivates viruses on
And
contacts.
there's that 5G again. That's what activates this illness.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's the main thing I wanted to bring
Well,
out.
may I say something? Well, you go ahead.
Okay, I want to also remind you about the vitamin C, which I told you about this before.
In distilled water.
Yeah, and you take just enough until you get diarrhea and you back off again, but it will.
Well, then you'll need the toilet paper
Yeah.
again.
So and then you're all home. And you can get this online, and it's relatively cheap. This I meant to look at the price, but somewhere between I think around $8 and $10 US. It might not even be that much, but £1, and it'll last you like forever unless you drink it, and then you're gonna really be sorry. So don't do that. But anyway, that's really important.
But that actually, we use that as an IV for cancer patients.
Yes, yes. So it's very important, vitamin C. And last week you weren't here, but I reported that China was looking into vitamin C to see if it helped coronavirus. And I was like, bah.
China is in big trouble.
So, and the other thing I wanted to tell you about is sea salt is also very good for building your immune system and feeding you. And that's why they took salt out of your diet.
Because it contains iodine,
It
which
has
is very
80
important.
I write about it in here of the research, 87 different minerals and good quality sea salt, not stuff that comes out of San Francisco Bay, but like fleur de sel that comes from
don't
France.
take anything from San Francisco.
Celtic
Bay.
sea, those Celtic sea salt. So don't take anything salt that comes from the earth.
Only from the ocean.
Himalayan
and
pink
especially
salt.
from the North Ocean.
Yeah, so the Himalayan pink salt that people are doing is deadly.
Now, anything from the ground has radon.
Yeah, and not only that, but those Himalayan salt lamps, they say are deadly to your pets.
Yeah.
So people who have them in their environment and I don't know what you do with them because I've not really looked at them, but however the stuff gets into your environment, it's killing people's pets. So don't take that, but the sea salt information is in here.
I'd like to give them a little bit of a formula.
Okay.
Because just to keep yourself safe, to keep your pathogens out of your body, methylene blue or methylene blue plus,
Which I
chaga mushroom from Russia.
comes in a tablet.
Yeah, vitamin C powder that you mentioned, of course, using the violet flush and violet
Yeah,
protection.
and of course I wore violet today, do you see?
Yes, I noticed. And then the healing techniques in our new books, which include the name of God and so on.
So that's
But-
in these books.
But I want to give them this thing here.
Okay.
I talked about it before. Travaritsa from Eastern Europe, a conglomerate of special herbs, fermented, and you've been using it. As you can see, she's been chugging the Travaritsa. So if you can get a hold of an Eastern European store, or you can go online and order it.
Not all states you can order
You
online.
can't get
here in the US.
But this is from Eastern Europe. That's why Eastern Europe has hardly any cases of any virus or anything. Travaritsa, it kills everything, including cancer, by the way.
Yeah, I would guess that you could, if you're in Europe already, that they should more easily be able to get it than we can.
Yeah, this is made in Croatia, but they have them in Poland, Czech Republic, Russia,
Similar.
etc., Hungary.
You can look up Travaritsa online because I did at one point and I can't remember how many different herbs are in here.
A lot.
But that was the origin, which I've spoken this very often in my classes. I have it in my books here. The origin of cocktails and things like that is it was to preserve herbs. And so when people would say, I want to go have my medicine, and that was their cocktail because the medicine was actually done by a pharmacist who had these herbs preserved in alcohol. So that's the point of this, but you can look it up. What's in here for herbs, like if you want to make it yourself, it tells you how, and I saw the recipe and I thought, oh my gosh, there's no
you
way
can't-
I
it's
can
hard to
the
make it on your
recipe.
own, but
You can't find the
this
herbs. it
is
takes
the best
forever.
medicine you'll ever get.
Yeah, and then the best medicine, of course, is in here. So these are the two books you need because a lot of people are writing about a lot of things. You're home, you have time to read. A lot of our books are on Kindle. The newer ones are not yet. I'm hoping by around the 1st of April or so, we may be starting to get them on the Kindle. But these two, Universal Law and Hyperspace Helper, are like two of our classics for health and healing books. Basic things that you can do with results. Also get a membership because less than $1 a day, we have all kinds of information that helps you, that we have deep, in-depth discussions with our members from all over the world. Hyperspace Plus, Healing Archetypes and Symbols, these are a little deeper level of healing work that you might be interested in doing with yourself, but all our work is designed to help you teach yourself how to be your own teacher so you can do your own healing.
Yeah.
Okay?
So we just have what, another month of webinars left?
This is March, no, 2, April and May, which of course is based on 1,099 daily affirmations for self-change. This is a fantastic group. We always kind of peter out toward the end because we start in the fall and head toward the spring. So the group is smaller right now, but it is a great group and they're doing fantastic work.
My Malta event has been postponed because of this ridiculous
everything going
issue. It will be later in the year. Turkey, I don't know what's going to happen. If they stop all the flights, there's nothing I can do about it. But so far, my intention is to go. Same thing you in Italy.
Yes, Italy, we are going to be extending the deadlines for when you can sign up. Now, the Iceland trip, we've extended to April 23rd. And the Italy trip, I don't remember what's on there, but also April, I think the end of April now they can go to.
Mm-hmm.
But I have my ticket and I'm going unless they tell me I can't.
According to President Trump, in April, all of this will come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And that means he knows what's going on. And by the way, if you ever do read the Q Post, this was predicted in 2018.
Yeah.
And they said a scare event is unfortunately necessary, but it will lead to the end of the deep state.
And in my opinion, you can use this to not be afraid. You know, use
No fear.
this. You know, you're home, like I said, study, get your body strong. If you need to be near a toilet, so you can start with your vitamin C and see what your body needs. But learn the needs of your body, and it all starts up here in your mind. So we have so much work here that you can do yourself to take control and learn to read the frequency. And as I say to people, if you watch Trump, I'm not going to take the test, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. He is not demonstrating any fear at all.
Because there's nothing to be afraid of.
That's
people.
right. But then the press is starting to poke fun at him.
Media, you know, they attack people who say there's nothing to be afraid of. Oh, it's dangerous, how could you do, you know, blah, blah. This is a media propaganda.
Yeah, so don't believe it. Listen to yourself, feel good, take care of yourself.
There's nothing to be afraid of. Go and do your stuff. Don't breathe on anybody anyway, regardless of what, you don't do that anyway. Just keep yourself clean.
Well, that's what they were
Read your
saying.
work.
You know, what were they doing beforehand? Not washing their hands with soap, not using toilet paper. I mean,
You
really.
know, the bubonic plague killed a third of Europe in the 1300s because people were filthy.
Well, then they didn't know. They didn't have access to hygiene products like we do.
And they didn't have toilet paper.
Well, they still don't. They use
But they
use
had
bidets.
Travaritza.
Some of
That's
them
been
do.
around for 1,000 years.
Some of them do. So anyway, with that said, we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.